Let's briefly summarize Chapter 2 now, Foundations of Criminal Justice Research. Here, we will see that social science involves three fundamental aspects: theory, data collection, and data analysis. First, I want to talk to you about the language of research, also called researchese. When a person is suddenly confronted with an unfamiliar style of presentation, he or she experiences a sense of disorientation. In social sciences, the language of research is almost like being exposed to a foreign language, and this sense of disorientation can be easily described as research shock. When you use this jargon around others not in the field, you may be surprised that they are unaware of these terms. This, incidentally, explains why many occupational groups tend to stick together socially. This course will assist you in learning researchese. Science is sometimes characterized as logical empirical because its inquiry generates knowledge through logic and observation. Science is theory. It's not a philosophy or belief, because social scientific theory has to do with what is, not what should be. It cannot settle disputes on value or worth. The two pillars of science are logic or rationality and observation. Three key aspects of the overall scientific enterprise are: 1. Theory, which is the logic aspect of science; 2. Data collection, the observational aspect; and 3. Data analysis, which are the patterns of what is observed. These are very important, and you must learn and use them throughout the course. Social science aims to find patterns of regularity in social life. This assumes, of course, that life is regular and not chaotic or random. As in everything in life, there are exceptions because social regularities represent probabilistic patterns. However, to be a pattern, it does not have to be reflected in 100% of the observable cases. Social scientists primarily study social rather than individual patterns. As such, they are interested in explaining aggregates, not individual. A focus on aggregate patterns rather than on individual distinguishes the activities of criminal justice researchers from the daily routines of most criminal justice practitioners. For example, processing and classifying individual inmates in a jail or prison. Variables are concepts that have been operationalized. An important distinction having to do with the term variable is the distinction between an independent and dependent variable. This distinction is particularly relevant when you are investigating cause-effect relationships. We must learn this distinction. In all fairness, it's not easy, or it's as easy as the signs for arrival and departures at the airport. Is the arrival sign for me because I'm arriving at the airport to pick up someone? Or is the arrival sign for the person I'm picking up because they're arriving on the plane? The dependent variable, or the outcome, is the variable one is attempting to predict. By convention, it is represented by the letter Y. Common dependent variables in criminal justice are concepts such as crime and recidivism. The independent variable, or the predictor, is the variable that causes, determines, or precedes in time the dependent variable and is usually denoted by letter X. For example, if we discover that crime is partly a function of homelessness, then homelessness is the independent variable and crime is the dependent variable. An independent variable in one study could become a dependent variable in another. As a rule of thumb, the treatment variable is always an independent variable, as are demographic variables such as age, sex, and race. The dependent variable usually is the behavior or attitudes. Attributes are characteristics or qualities that describe some object, such as a person, or categories that make up a variable, for example, conservative, married, unemployed, intoxicated, etc. Although social scientists observe people, they are primarily interested in discovering relationships that connect variables. Explanations may be idiographic or nomothetic. Idiographic relates to a mode of causal reasoning that seeks a detailed understanding of all factors contributing to a particular phenomenon. Police detectives try to solve a particular case using the idiographic mode of explanation. Nomothetic is a mode of causal reasoning that tries to explain a number of similar phenomena or situations. Police crime analysts try to explain patterns of auto thefts, burglaries, or some other offenses using nomothetic reasoning. Science is a process involving an alternation of deduction and induction. Although people speak of science as being objective, it is more a matter of intersubjective agreement, different scientists agreeing on their observations and conclusions. The traditional image of science includes theory, operationalization, and observation. Social scientific theory and research are linked through two logical methods: deduction, which involves the derivation of expectations or hypotheses from theories, and two, induction, involves the development of generalizations from specific observations. Data may be quantitative or qualitative. In quantitative research, concepts are assigned numerical value, whereas in qualitative research, concepts are viewed as sensitizing ideas or terms that enhance our understanding and meaning. Theory and observation go together in science, but sometimes theory precedes observation, and in other times, observation comes before theory. Theory is a systematic explanation for the observed facts and laws that relate to a particular aspect in life. Juvenile delinquency is an example. Objectivity is typically defined as independent of mind. Social scientists prefer the phrase intersubjective agreement instead of objectivity. Hypothesis is a specified expectation about empirical reality derived from propositions. It is a tentative answer to a research question. A paradigm is a fundamental model or scheme that organizes our view of something. It is distinct from a theory based on organization and structure. It offers a way of looking, while a theory aims at explaining what we see. Finally, get to know the course online and make sure you're comfortable with navigating around the course and the various sections on Brightspace. Complete this week's exam and discussion board on Brightspace by the end of the week. Exam and the discussion board will be found in week assignments folder, as you will see on Brightspace. Before you attempt to engage in the discussion board, make sure to read the signed article, Chapter 2 in the Maxfield textbook, and related materials on Brightspace. Have a great week, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you in the forums.